Alright, then swimming to another reaction video. So this is going to be a reaction to Wind Speed Power Rankings by Swegle Studios. So, let's do this.
Wind, the movement of air across the planet's surface. We've all encountered it, I know I have. Whether it's a nice, cool mountain breeze or a strong gale from an incoming gust front, wind's a pretty crazy thing, and when it's at its worst, it can really cause a lot of destruction. But what was the windiest wind to have ever winded? How do hurricane winds compare to tornado winds? What on earth is a derecho? And what's the highest wind speed ever recorded on Earth? These are the questions that we seek to answer in today's video on the Wind Speed Power Rankings. What's up? Welcome to the channel. So I made this super useful wind scale. It's a nice little chart. We're starting way over on the left.
Okay.
We're making our way to the right where things get truly crazy. But starting on the far left, we are in Tier 1, minor winds. Let's start off with calm. Calm is like no winds or very small winds. This is between 0 and 5 miles per hour. A great visual indicator for this is a smoke plume rising straight up into the sky. Moving up to 5 miles per hour, we now have the light breeze. People love light breezes, especially if it's like really hot out and you get that nice cool breeze. Feels good. Gentle to moderate breezes encompass wind speeds between 10 and 20 miles per hour. At these speeds, flags are flapping, chimes are singing, leaves are constantly in motion, and we're starting to get closer to the windy level. Okay, now we're picking up the pace. Any situation with wind speeds over 20 miles per hour is considered windy. Wind speeds between 20 and 30 miles per hour cause branches to sway. Little waves begin to form on lakes. You also hear that like slight creepy whistle sound, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
I used to hate that sound as a kid. It made me so depressed. It was like, oh, winter. Anyway, winds at these speeds can be pretty inconvenient, but they're not really much of a threat. They might kind of mess up your picnic or cell phone, but not a big deal.
And ruin
Between 30 and 50
your
miles per
camps,
hour,
your
we are
camp
approaching
out.
gale force winds. Entire trees begin to sway. Walking can be quite difficult. Unless you're walking with the wind, then it's actually easier. Twigs and smaller branches from trees can fall at these speeds. Sometimes winds come in strong gusts, which are short periods of strong winds. These are usually less than 20 seconds. Now we're about to move on to Tier 2, higher dangerous wind speeds. But before we get to that, we have a quick word from our sponsor, Morgan & Morgan. Oof, I recently slept at work and I really did it 7
We don't
months.
need to see it. We
Thanks,
don't need to
Morgan &
watch a
Morgan.
sponsorship.
Now that we're at 50 miles per hour, we're moving on to Tier 2, damaging winds.
Okay.
Tier 2 has winds between 50 and 150 miles per hour. We are now entering the severe thunderstorm range. But I want to start off with a specific and rare type of severe thunderstorm known as the derecho. A derecho is a massive storm system that has winds ranging between 56 and 130 miles per hour. And these winds must at least last for 240 miles. These straight line winds take the form of a squall line that appears as a bow echo or backward C on radar. Derechos are very fast moving storms. I mean, check out this radar. Look how fast that thing is going. Here's footage from the 2020 Midwest derecho that occurred on August 10th and lasted over 14 hours into August
Good
11th.
grief,
This
man.
specific storm resulted in 4
Like a
fatalities
dang
and
monsoon.
caused $11 billion worth of damage, and that included massive crop damage in Iowa and Illinois. The peak verified wind gusts from this derecho occurred in Atkins, Iowa at 126 miles per hour. However, there was an estimated wind gust of 140 miles per hour in Cedar Rapids from damage. Winds at these speeds can cause both small and large trees to fall. Large branches fall on houses, roof damage occurs, and small mobile homes are overturned. Derechos are often referred to as land hurricanes. So, speaking of hurricanes, let's talk about those. Hurricanes, aka tropical cyclones, aka
Flip up my hearing
typhoons, are
outside.
massive rotating tropical thunderstorms. By definition, hurricanes need to at least have wind speeds of 74 miles per hour to even be called hurricanes. The hurricane intensity scale is known as the Saffir-Simpson Hurricane Wind Scale, and it is broken down into 5 categories. Category 1 has wind speeds between 74 and 95 miles per hour. Category 2 has wind speeds between 96 and 110 miles per hour. Category 3 has wind speeds between 111 and 129 miles per hour. And we've already talked about the wind damage associated with these winds. So let's just go ahead and move on to Category 4 hurricanes. and these have wind speeds that range between 130 and 156
Good
miles per
grief,
hour.
man.
At
Look
these
at
wind
that.
speeds, shingles are completely blown away, doors can be blown off, extremely weak roofs can fly off of houses. Recently, Hurricane Ian, which was a high-end Category 4, had measured peak wind gusts at 155 miles per hour. These were measured as the hurricane approached the southwest corner of Florida. By the time the hurricane hit Punta Gorda, the wind speeds were approximately 145 miles per hour. However, the hurricane intensity scale peaks at Category 5. These hurricanes have wind speeds over 156 miles per hour. Roofs can be completely blown off, second-story walls can collapse, very poorly built homes can be destroyed. Category 5 damage is considered catastrophic. The most powerful wind gust ever produced by a tropical cyclone, as well as the highest non-tornadic wind ever recorded, is from Cyclone Olivia in 1996. Wind speeds of 250 miles per hour were recorded
Didn't
on
know my
Barrow
sister
Island
was a
in
hurricane
Western
at one
Australia.
point.
Fortunately, Barrow Island and the land near it are pretty isolated, so there's very little
Literally,
damage
I
and
have
no
a sister
deaths
named
were
Olivia.
reported. And remember, with hurricanes, winds are just part of the formula. There's also flooding, storm surge, a whole host of problems. So obviously it's not just wind. Definitely take them seriously. That was tier 2. It's time for tier 3. Catastrophic winds. The highest rated hurricanes do cause catastrophic damage, and they are technically in tier 3. However, we're going to move on to the next natural disaster, tornadoes. Tornadoes are
Yeah.
rapidly rotating columns of air with the wind speeds ranging between 75 miles per hour all the way up to 300 miles per hour plus. The largest and most severe tornadoes are spawned by huge storm systems known as supercells. Tornadoes in the US are rated with the enhanced Fujita scale. I've talked about this before, but the Fujita scale is based off of damage caused by wind, not the wind itself. So the tornado actually has to cause
I always
damage
thought
for
it
to be
was
rated.
based,
So you can
the
have a
Vegeta
huge
scale
300
was
mile per
based
hour
on like
tornado out in the middle of a
size.
field, but if it doesn't destroy anything, then it's not going to be rated as a EF5 tornado. Okay, just quick disclaimer, all right? We have talked about wind speeds between 65 and 150 miles per hour. So let's skip to EF4 tornadoes. These tornadoes have wind speeds between 166 and 200 miles per hour, and they cause catastrophic damage. An EF4 occurred recently in Rolling Fork, Mississippi, and check out this damage. It's absolutely devastating. With EF4 winds, most homes are completely destroyed, leaving only piles of rubble. Only the strongest of homes remain. Trains are blown off their tracks, vehicles are tossed high in the air, metal buildings such as factories and construction sites are heavily damaged or even destroyed. But we're still not at the top of the scale. We are now moving on to the most powerful and destructive windstorm on Earth, the EF5 tornado. These are extremely violent and rare tornadoes with wind speeds over 200 miles per hour. EF5 damage is truly next level. Very well built houses are completely cleaned off their original foundation, only leaving concrete slabs.
Where are the ranges? Where are the refrigerators? Where are the washing machines? Where are the outside air conditioning units? Nobody knew where they were.
Cars are mangled and thrown thousands of yards away. Framed homes, brick homes, small businesses are all swept away. Trees are debarked, corn stalks flattened or ripped out of the ground. Skyscrapers sustain major structural damage. The 1999 Bridge Creek Moore tornado unofficially holds the record for strongest wind ever recorded on Earth at 301 miles per hour.
That debris,
However,
though.
it's possible that the 2013 El Reno tornado had wind speeds even higher. Some think that the 1997 Gerald F5 tornado was the most powerful tornado ever recorded, as it dug massive trenches and even pulled pipes from concrete foundations. However, the 1997 Gerald F5 tornado was also extremely slow moving, so that tornado just sat, unfortunately, on Double Creek Estates, where it took 27 lives. Either way, the EF5 tornadoes of El Reno, Gerald, or Bridge Creek Moore had wind speeds somewhere in the range of 295 to 330 miles per hour. Since there's no accurate means to measure the wind speeds of tornadoes directly, they typically are excluded from lists of fastest surface winds. Weather instruments are destroyed by tornadoes, so they can't actually measure the winds. Doppler radar can be used to kind of get an approximate measure of tornadoes' winds. However, these values are not absolute. Therefore, technically, the highest wind ever recorded on Earth belongs to Hurricane Olivia in 1996 that we spoke about earlier. Let's talk real quick about Mount Washington. Mount Washington in New Hampshire, USA is well known for its record-breaking wind gusts. This mountain holds the record for strongest non-tornadic or hurricane-related wind at 236 miles per hour, and it was captured on
Good
the afternoon
grief.
of April 12th in 1934. The research building on top of the mountain was actually built to withstand winds of 300 miles per hour. That's pretty cool. Other buildings are literally chained to the ground. You might be asking, how is this possible? 200 mile per hour winds on a mountain? Well, Mount Washington is actually known to have the worst weather in the world. Yes, worse than Antarctica, the Sahara, and even Mount Everest. What the heck? How is this possible? Well, it actually has to do with the topography of the region. Due to the Appalachian Mountains, all the winds from the west naturally funnel into one location, Mount Washington. There are 100 mile per hour wind gusts here weekly. So yeah, pretty crazy. Well, we have now covered all the natural wind speeds, but I want to mention atomic bombs and blast waves.
Really,
These are
nuclear
technically
bombs?
the fastest wind speeds to occur on our planet.
Yeah, they have
in
extremely
300
strong
years, or at least
blasts.
since the last major asteroid. Okay, so a split second after an atomic bomb explodes, the heat from the fireball causes a high pressure wave to develop and move outward very rapidly. This is known as the blast wave, and it is not wind. It is simply a highly compressed region of air. However, this highly compressed region of air is followed by a powerful wind gust. So check out this insane video. Okay, so there's a house, it catches on fire. Now it catches on fire from the heat of the bomb, and then boom, the blast wave and the wind follow. What's interesting is all this displacement of air actually creates a low pressure region. So you actually see the wind get sucked back into the nuclear bomb. Now obviously atomic bomb wind speeds vary big time depending on the size of the bomb and the distance from the blast. But let's just use a 1 megaton bomb for our example, which by the way is massive, about 80 times more powerful than the bombs dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. So if you are 13 miles away from a 1 megaton bomb, winds following the blast waves are traveling at about 60 to 70 miles per hour. Moving in closer at an 8-mile radius, winds are around 80 to 100 miles per hour. 5 miles from the blast wave, 140 to 160 miles per hour. At 3 miles, wind speeds can reach 250 to 300 miles per hour. So we're talking EF5 level winds here. And finally, at a 1 mile radius from the blast, wind speeds are approximately
That's from Terminator.
to 550 miles per hour. Winds at 500 miles per hour are literally destroying everything. Homes, large buildings, skyscrapers, everything. As you can see, the blast effects and wind speed grow exponentially. In fact, if you're within the fireball itself, the wind speeds are likely close to 800 miles per hour. Also, keep in mind, the largest bomb ever detonated is the Tsar Bomba by the Soviet Union in 1961. That had a magnitude of 60 megatons, 60 times larger than our 1 megaton example. Those wind speeds would be insane. Ted Fujita, legendary tornado expert, actually surveyed the blast zone of Hiroshima. Yes, the same man who made hundreds of discoveries surveying the Palm Sunday outbreak, the 1974 super outbreak, and the famous Jordan F5 tornado, as well as many other tornadoes, also surveyed the aftermath of an atomic bomb. This dude has seen a lot of damage in his lifetime. Anyways, that's it. Thank you for watching. Be sure to subscribe. We'll see you in the next video. Oh, also be sure to check out Morgan & Morgan.
No, I'm good. Alright then, so that's it for my reaction to Wind Speed Power Rankings by Swegle Studios. Yeah, I hope you all enjoyed the reaction. The link to the original video will be in the description below if you'd like to check it out, and I'll see you guys next time.